People with schizoid dynamics tend to operate in a state of depersonalization, which means that there is a disconnection from our feelings and emotions and our sense of identity and sense of self. And it can be like we don't feel like we're an actual person, and we're like in a state where we can be like seeing ourselves like from an outside perspective. So it's complicated to explain, but with depersonalization, we're not going to have like a strong awareness of our emotional needs. So this is one of the reasons why many of us have to defend against our own propensity to have deep empathy. And this is because there can be an imbalance in relationships. So what this actually means is that we can spend more time connecting and analysing and surveying other people's emotional states, psychological states and ways of being with our cognitive empathy and sometimes affective empathy, whilst not really paying attention to our own emotional needs and state of being in a personal sense. What this leads to is that there's an imbalance with us not getting our needs met and focusing too heavily on other people's needs. And this can lead to other people wanting to use or manipulate us for our empathetic responses, reactions, or understanding. So there's a need to protect oneself from being over empathetic. And so there's ways that we learn to manage and navigate this empathy. Part of it can come from our defense mechanisms. Sometimes we can be highly aware of other people in an empathetic way, but not react or respond to the empathy in a way that other people may want us to or expect us to. And in some cases, we can be quite dismissive of other people's emotions because engaging in it can be quite draining and take us away from our natural state of being, which is emotional detachment. And so for a lot of schizoid individuals, we may avoid people who are going to have a high level of emotional output or have a lot of emotional needs. In some situations, schizoids can enjoy other people's emotions when they're positive and can enjoy being around other people in a sense that they will use this emotional connectivity to process emotions that they're unable to feel themselves. And so being around other people can give us access to emotions that we are personally detached from. So seeing, analysing, absorbing other people's emotions can give us an emotional life that we wouldn't otherwise have. Now, for each individual, it's different. For some people, they will dabble in the emotions of others and be around others for the purpose of experiencing an emotional life. And with other schizoids, they will just cut off from situations that require emotional processing and put up defenses towards other people's emotions altogether. This is a very complex topic, and as you can see, there's a lot of sort of contradictions between being able to feel and process emotions and then being emotionally detached from one's own emotions, and in some cases, some schizoids being highly emotionally processing and having to actually take themselves physically away from other people because of the potential for emotional overwhelm and engulfment. Part of the schizoid dilemma involves like deciding like when to be close to people and when to keep a distance, and how close to be and how distant to be. And the emotional detachment is a way to a compromise whereby we can be around people, and with the emotional detachment as a defense, able to still maintain emotional distance. So this is a very complex topic area. I will be revisiting it in different ways, but I thought that it was important to make the point that schizoids are capable of empathy, and the development of this empathy is like kind of a byproduct of an early survival mechanism to be safe, to by understanding people in the environment, but then also on the other hand, because of the potential for overwhelm from emotions, having to put up defenses and barriers toward fully connecting with and feeling other people's emotions and our own. So lots of contradictions and paradoxes there. It is complicated, mainly because of the mind-body split in schizoid individuals, which is what causes a lot of the contradictions and paradoxes that I talk about when we're talking about schizoid issues. So I hope that that gave you a good introduction to the topic area and an understanding of how schizoid individuals can be highly empathetic, but at the same time be quite distant and emotionally attached. In some situations, schizoids can be quite responsive, and in other situations, they can be dismissive. So, yeah, I hope that made some sense. Okay.